I've been trading for a while now. I've been doing this for a while. And I realized over the last week that I still don't fully accept the risk. Not really. Because the moment the trade goes on, I start hoping and praying that it goes up. And I start getting frustrated if it goes down. I have not truly, actually accepted the risk. And part of that is I scaled up a little bit. I did well. So I scaled up my contracts until like all of a sudden the loss was like a lot bigger. And I'm like, uh-oh. So I had to scale that down a little bit. I had to take that down. That's part of why I did the prop firm, because I can trade that risk and feel really good about it. But I have to, when I enter the trade and I decide, here's my plan, I'm looking for a green, taking out a red near the 20. And I'll go back to the chart with all the stuff on it too. So we see if all of our indicators confirm, right? I'll take a look at this. But I have to decide that this is going to lose and be okay with that. And I have to say, this is the cost. I am risking whatever this is. You know, that's only 3 points. So that might be $40 per spread, something like that, times 3. You know, I might be risking $120 there on 3 spreads. And that's just my risk. And I might lose. And the moment it crosses here, I'm out. That's the cost of doing business. And I just have to say, this is already lost. I can't stop it now. Oh, still in it. Still in it. Still alive. Didn't close. And when you see this, wick, 20 right there, that's not enough for me to stop out. Oh, good. I didn't stop out. Now, if the next candle was one of these, I'm out. Does that make sense? Now, I don't know if this trade's still going to work, but that's a little better. Uh-oh. Okay, I usually like to let the candle close. Good thing, because we got another wick here. That could be reversal. We'll see. Nope, out. Bummer. Trade lost. On to the next one. That's the way you have to look at it. Lost that one, on to the next one. Okay, I'm just going to move these things away. Still looks like an upward sloping 20, but now we're coming down. So there may have been even some indicators I should have seen there, which we'll look later. I'm trying to teach you guys how to do this without any. What's the 20 look like now? Trending or flat? Pretty flat. That's not a place where I want to take a trade. See how we formed another little price box here? But if we get moving, whoa, look at that. Now we're moving. Now we're ending. Now we're trending. Can I come back to it? Whoa. Whoa. Was that a sharp, steep comeback or a nice, gentle comeback? Red. I don't think that was super sharp. That wasn't like one big, strong candle that's going to wipe me out, right? Sorry here. So for me, this is gentle enough, coming back near the 20. If we can get above the high of that red, put a stop under here. Not quite. Okay, this is my entry. As we're getting above, I'm entering there. Boom, flat, going nowhere. I think I actually did take this trade, and I think this was enough to convert me. I think I got converted on that. How much is that from entry? Yeah, that's 26 to 35. That was enough to convert. Nice drift. Can I get a green taking out the red? Okay, so here's my question. Does the 20 look like it's trending? Can I get a green taking out a red near the 20 that's trending? That's all I need. Boom, boom. See if we can get like 35 to 42, 43 should be enough to convert. Still alive. Kind of going flat, almost out, still in. Time decay, crap. I don't know if this would have been enough. Probably not. This much time, I'm going to close it if it starts to come back. If it does this and it doesn't just keep on moving and it comes back, I just take it off. Yep. 200 is trending as well. You can see the 200 starting to move up in there. And here we go. Just a lot of sideways, bam. So someone asked, where did I get the one that hit? I think I got it right here, actually. I think it right in here. Now, that's just looking at the 20 and the 200. No indicators, no nothing. And actually, when I zoom out, can you see some key moments? It's a little bit better way to look at it. You see some key moments where the green takes out the red near a sloping 20. These were all good moments to get in. This is the last one we just talked about. Now, there's a candle structure here that I look for, that I like. When you get a red, well, especially if you get any kind of big red, let's look for this first, and immediately taken out by an equally big green. This I like, or it could even be like 2 or 3 greens. But let's say it's this and then that, right? And we get right above it. Oops, we get above the high, we get above the high. Can we find anything like that on the chart? You see this one? Big red taken out by a big green. And we get more movement. Big red, big green. And we get more. Big red, big green. And we get more. It even works for little ones. You can see this one. That would work. That would work. But it's even better when you have a big bar taken out by another big bar. How about this one to the downside? Big bar, really big bar, taken out by another big bar. Clue? So I don't enter in on just anything. I look for a green taken out or red. I also look for these candles right here. See that reversal tail candle? We get above the high. Boom. These are things I look for. Now let's go to our actual chart. See if this makes a little bit more sense. Here's our 5, which is the anchor. Now I was only looking at the 2, but the 5 is way easier. Let me just open up the 5 for a second. Look at the 5-minute chart. Look how beautiful this is. Big green taken out by a bigger red. Look at our dots, our RSI, and our cycle. At 10 o'clock. Think that's a shift we can count on? Did anybody take this 10 o'clock today? One person took the 10 o'clock shift today? Hey, Matt. I haven't seen you in a bit. Because I haven't been around. But hi. Then look, we get that shift at 10 o'clock. We get away from the 20. Price is likely to come back. And where does it happen? Boom, boom, boom. Really, when you have a big bar like this, here's another thing. Here's a little nugget for you. Look at this big bar. Does this big bar right here, does this come at the beginning of the move, middle of the move, towards the end of the move? Or let's say that. Let's just ask you this. Does this bar happen at the beginning of the drop? Is this the beginning of the drop when you see that big bar? No. This is a clue. This is a clue. Retail traders, new traders, people that I'm coaching sometimes, they're a little bit unsure about getting in here. They see the reversal candle, confirmation candle. They know it's 10 o'clock. They see it's blue and then yellow. They see that we're getting below 50%. We see that we're shifting. They see that we're shifting. But for some reason, they're still just not sure. And then they wait to be sure and wait to be sure. And then really, this is, okay, we're definitely going down. And then what happens? Crap, this system doesn't work, is what they tell me. But when you see a big red candle like this, and it's not the beginning of the move, it's usually the end. It's all these people, new traders that are piling in, that are like, hey, time for me to play. We're shorting this. Okay, short the big bar at the beginning of the move. We were going up, and we get that big bar, short that thing. But at the bottom, after 4 bars in, that's 20 minutes into the move. No, do not. In fact, what I like to do here is cut this bar in half. If the bounce, you might get a bounce that does this. And if you got that kind of a bounce, what do you think is going to happen next? Don't worry about getting a good price on the debit spread. Just get any price at all. I'm serious. I think mine was $2.80, $2.90 I paid today. Converted for $3. I mean, does it matter? On SPX, I think this is like a 40-point move. Does it really matter what your price is? You're going to get it. Don't miss the move because you're trying to get a better price. Just whatever the price is, go get it. But my mistake was it's hard to sell the debit spreads for a profit, right? Sometimes whenever they move fast. So it's okay. Like I think the suggestion is get a spread and a put. Get a SPY put and an SPX spread. So here's my question for you. Big red bar down, 50%. It comes up, and struggles. What do you think is going to happen next? Up or down? If you were forced to make a trade, I said you have to push the button. Is it a buy or is it a sell? Yeah, this is going down. More likely. Probabilities are sell, right? But if, get this, you cut the move in half, what's more likely next? I force you to take a trade. See the difference? Now, what do we have here? Can you spot the moment to take the trade? Big move, but there's no reversal candle here. There's no tail bar, right? This is what gets people stuck. This is the reversal. The big move down and getting over halfway a bit above it. That is the reversal. I don't even have the moving average crossover yet. This is the candle. This is the bar because of the price action. Now, the next bar confirms we start to get blues, we start to get up. Makes it pretty obvious we're going to go up, right? Yep, dots are yellow. The dots will confirm the move. The indicators confirm the move. No, I'm telling you, I'm not waiting for it to break the high of that red. Nope. Not when we have 4 big bear bars down and the last one is huge. No, I don't have to wait till it breaks the 200 either. I'm just in. I'm just in right there. And you can say, well, that doesn't follow all the indicators. Well, it's fine. You can wait. You can wait. You can wait and get in on the next bar. You get back above the pre-market low. We start to turn blues, right? This is the confirmation. This is where it's in, right? This is where you're more sure. But I'm pretty sure here. This is a little bit early. This is probably on time. And this is late. But does that make sense why the early works in this case? Now, watch this. The other thing you got going for you is, you usually have a shift around on 1040. That's coming a little bit early. Let's go to the 2-minute chart and take a look at 1020 or 1025. What does the 2-minute chart tell me? What happens at 1020 or 1025? 1024, right there. Now, this is coming down pretty hard, right? But look, reversal candle, confirmation candle, pull back, hold. I like that one. Everything lines up. Do you guys like that one? We get the green energy band turning. Do you guys like this entry? Now that corresponds to this candle. Reversal candle can be red. Yep. What we're looking for is, we don't care about the color of that candle. We care about the wick. What does this wick mean? It was going down and then buyers came in and pushed it back up. Now, here's a little strategy for people that have a little bit more risk appetite. Maybe Ken T is in this boat. If you want to not miss your fly at the end of the day. Ken, are you still buying SPX calls and then just selling them? Or are you buying spreads? Of course. Okay, I figured. All right. So for someone like Ken, this is not for everybody. But what if you bought right here and you're like, this is the shift, this is the moment, I'm going to get it. What if you buy, let's say the 73.75 call right there? Okay. What if you just bought that call? If you get 5 points of movement, well, in this case, it gets 10 points pretty easy. All you need is 5 points of movement. Hypothetically, let's suppose this call might cost, I don't know, Ken, what's reasonable? $15 to buy the call? Okay. So this is not for everybody because that's $1,500 you're laying on the line. That's a big risk. So it's only for people who are already experienced and take these big risks. Okay. If you get 5 points movement, that's this call, right? If this moves up 5 points, guess what the 73.80 call will be worth? Yeah, let's say it's like 50 delta, even 55 delta. But if this moves up plus 5 points, guess what this call is going to be worth? The next one higher. $15. It might start out as like 12. But if you get a 5 point move in your direction, that 12 is going to increase to 15. So here's a little trick. What if you buy this call for 15 bucks? Price goes up $5 in your direction. Sell the call on top of it for 15 bucks. Now, what do you have? You have a call debit spread, right? And how much did it cost you to get that? He paid $15 here. He brought in $15 credit when he sold it. Isn't it free? Because you spotted the shift right? And now, do you have to close that? What happens if you keep the 75.80 call all day long? What's that worth? It does. You have to get the shift right. But do you see how that vertical 73, as long as we're above 73.80, that thing is worth 500 bucks. And it can't miss your fly. If you're like, oh, I got this fly and then it did this and it missed me, right? It won't miss you. As long as it's above this, that vertical will be worth $500 that you got for free. Now, you laid out $1,500 of risk to start out. You got your 5 point move. You sold it for $1,500. So now it cost you nothing. And at the end of the day, it's 500 bucks. So this is not a trade for the newbies. This is not a trade for anybody that's in your first year of doing this. But if you've got a big enough account and you've got experience trading and you're confident in spotting the shift and you can catch one each day towards the bottom of the range and you're like, hey, I think this might be the low of the day right here. And you can get that debit spread, that might pay you. How do you calculate this all so quickly? And then by the time you finish making the trade, it's all gone by. It's all gone by.
Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed this video from Trade With Me Now. Make sure to go ahead and like this video and subscribe to our channel so you make sure that you catch our next video right when it's released. Also, if you have a question or comment, please leave that in the comment section below. And of course, if you want to learn more about Trade With Me Now or join our community of profitable traders, go to tradewithmenow.com. There's also a link in the description below.